Hey Shepherd Youth, my name is Monet. If you don't know me already, welcome to the Shepherd Youth YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you are here today to join us for another Tuesday video. It's me, I'm here not for a Thursday video, but for a Tuesday video. So that's exciting for me. I don't know if you guys saw last week's video. It was on dating with my wonderful boyfriend of 3 years, fiance, and eventually husband coming up in May, which is exciting. Derek, he spoke on dating a little bit last week, so now I'm here to give you some advice, give you my experience, and hopefully this will be helpful to you in your lives and in the way that you guys date. So yeah, I'm so excited to give y'all some wisdom today. But before we get started, I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Drew House. I'm just kidding. They're not the sponsor of the video, and they probably will never, ever be. But Justin, if you're watching, sponsor me. I would love it. But seriously though, Derek pulled out his Drew drip for his video, so I thought I'd do the same thing, you know, a little coordination deal. You know, we love to do that. But yeah, I'm just so happy to be here with you guys. I'm very excited to talk about this subject with you. So dating, let's go. So first off, I want to start by kind of telling you guys how me and Derek met. Then we'll go on from there. So me and Derek met at Shepherd. Surprising, I know. He actually started, he's been going to Shepherd for a little bit. I've been going to Shepherd for like all my life, but he actually started serving when I was away at college in like 2017. So when I came back from college, I was like, who is this guy that's here? Not because I thought he was cute, I did, but I was just like protective over my territory. Like, who's this guy that's serving at Shepherd? You know, this is my place. Anyways, so yeah, this new guy was here. I was like, yeah, I want to get to know him. He's serving with Shepherd Youth, the ministry that I love, that I work with. Let me find out more about this guy. So yeah, I got to know him, started talking, all that good stuff, and then eventually we started dating. I did skip all the there's a lot of stuff that happened in between us talking and dating that I will explain in a little bit. But first, yeah, that's how we met. I first want to talk about singleness though, because it was very important in my life. And believe it or not, even though you probably hear about dating and marriage and all this stuff in church all the time, believe it or not, singleness is probably the most important and beneficial time of your life, because what you do while you're single is going to affect how you date, and it's going to affect your marriage in the future and all that stuff. So first, singleness is important. Why do I say that? Why do you say that, Monet? What do you know about singleness? Trust me, I know a lot about singleness. Fun fact, Derek is the first guy that I've ever dated. He was my first date, first boyfriend. So I was single until I was 20. You might be asking, was that intentional? Was that not intentional? Yes and no. It was intentional for the reason being I didn't want to date someone unless, you know, I really felt like it would be a long-term thing. That was just me. I didn't really want to date around. I didn't see the point in it for a long time. I was just like, why do people do that? I don't know. I just knew myself. I knew that it would affect my heart. I knew that it would affect my soul. So I just didn't do that. I say no, it wasn't intentional also because I liked boys. I had crushes on boys in middle school and high school. They just didn't work out. But looking back now, I'm thankful that they didn't, because when I got in a relationship with Derek, I had grown so much where I was ready for that relationship, if that makes sense. So why I say singleness is important is because the way that you view yourself on your own, the relationship you have with God, is so much more important than anything. For a long time, I wanted to or I guess I should say, for a long time, I was so insecure. I still have insecurities. I still have my moments of being insecure. But when I was younger, I really wanted to find my worth in what other people thought of me, whether that was my friends, but especially boys. I had crushes, but I didn't see myself as beautiful, so I was like, maybe if someone else does, I'll feel that way about myself. That's not how it works at all. So growing up, I'll give you guys a little bit of background about me. Growing up with my parents weren't perfect. No one's parents are, but I definitely had some experiences with them where they weren't around all the time, and I had a complicated relationship with them, and that definitely affects a young kid, a young girl, a young boy, with how they view marriage and relationships. So my parents divorced when I was in high school, which also had a huge effect on how I viewed relationships. So for me, being single was important because I had to learn how to, as much as it sucked, I had to learn how to find my identity, how to find myself, how to grow in the Lord on my own. And that's hard. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it for anyone. It's hard to find that. But once you do, I promise that it's so worth it. So being single in that aspect is so important. And so when I tell you about there's some complicated stuff that happened between talking and dating Derek. So when Derek, like I said, no boy has really reciprocated feelings for me the way that I have before. So when Derek started to reciprocate feelings, I had a lot of anxiety. I have dealt with anxiety for a long time, since I was very young. It can be severe sometimes. And when Derek started reciprocating feelings, started telling me how he felt about me, I had a lot of anxiety about that. This is something I learned, and you might think I'm crazy for saying it, but this has been very important to me, so I'm gonna say it to you because it'll be important for you. But sometimes anxiety is good. Anxiety doesn't always feel good. Anxiety most of the time doesn't feel good, but sometimes it is good for you. Why I say that is because anxiety in my life has, anxiety is like basically stress. It's like your body's reaction to stress, like internally, and it's like an extreme reaction. So why I was so stressed was because I was still trying to find my identity, still trying to find my worth in God. And I felt like that anxiety was still telling me like, hey, you have some stuff to still work with before you can date, and you need to figure that out first. So that's what I did. I had to have a hard conversation. You can ask Derek or me how that conversation went. I had to call Derek, had to tell him like, hey, like, I know we both like each other, but I'm just not ready. I still want to be with you. I don't know when that's going to be. It was a very honest, hard conversation. If you know me at all, I don't like conflict. I don't like making people feel bad or a certain way. So that was a hard conversation, but I felt that I needed to have it. So I did. And then eventually I felt better, and I felt in a good place where I could date him. So this is where we are now, 3 years in. A big thing for me while you're dating, I think that you still need to keep Jesus first. That's the most important thing for me. Me and Derek actively pursue God. He is our number one. We both, I know Derek mentioned it in his video, he calls me the cherry on top. You know, God is the whole sundae, Jesus is the whole sundae. I'm just the cherry on top. Another thing that we like to say to each other is that we are both our number two. If you are number one in someone's life, that is a problem, because Jesus needs to be our number one. That he needs to be the first one we go to when we are sad, or dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression, dealing with anything. God is the first one that you need to go to. And then two, that can be a best friend or a relationship that you're in. And that's how me and Derek we just made that a rule for each other, that we would be our number two. So some advice in dating, that would be one of them. Just keeping Jesus first, keeping him as the foundation, actively pursuing him, whether that's serving in church or staying in your word, whatever that looks like to you. Like, continue to do that. Don't let anyone stop you. And this goes for not just dating relationships, but this goes for friendships too. This goes for family. If something is prioritized over God, then your life is going to start to look a little blurry. But when you have God as the center, you always have something to look at, and the rest of your life is going to align with that. So that's the biggest thing. Another thing was just communication. Me and Derek have been long distance for 2 years now, 2 years of the 3 years that we've been dating. That is extremely difficult. But with long distance, you really have to be good at communication. But this goes for any relationship. Communication is important. That is also, which is funny, everything that I think the biggest thing for me is that the standard of what a relationship should be is what your relationship with God is. So with God, communication is important, right? You're always praying to him. You're always talking to him about what's going on in your life. That's important. Having your identity found in God is a standard of how you should be in your relationship. You should have your identity found in God, and that way your identity is not going to be found in the person that you're with. And then 3 is just keeping that relationship healthy, keeping that relationship alive, actively pursuing that relationship. Same with your relationship with God. You should always be pursuing him, and that should also translate in the person that you're with. Even when you're dating, the pursuit does not stop. You still, should do your part in loving them and being being a partner with them. That's so important. And honestly, those are like the biggest things for me. But I think that more than anything, I want you guys to know that everyone's story is different. Everyone's experience in dating is different. I didn't date anyone until I was 20. Maybe you've dated someone already. Maybe you've dated a few people. Maybe you haven't, just like me. It doesn't matter. Your story is going to be different from everyone else's. So, another big thing is don't let what you see on social media affect how you see your relationship. Everyone is showing the best of their relationship on social media. Everyone is showing the best of everything on social media. But comparing can be very destructive and toxic when it comes to a lot of things. So just be aware of that. Those are like the biggest things for me. I love talking about this with people. So if you have any questions, if you have any specific advice that you need, you can always talk to me. You can follow me on Instagram at Monet Garner. You can DM me at any time. I'm available. You can catch me at Shepherd Youth, where I always am. I'm always at Shepherd too. So yeah, I love talking about this stuff. I hope that made sense, and I hope that this video was to help. I hope this video helps you in your experience and in your life, because these are just the things I've learned and have been very important for me. So again, singleness is important. Pursuing the Lord is important. Finding your worth and your identity in the Lord is important. And I promise, when you do those things and you focus on God, really, that's the rest of your life is gonna fall into place, just as long as you're following Jesus. So yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope that you guys got something out of that video. If you, again, have any questions, please let me know. But for now, I will see you guys soon. Maybe on another Tuesday, maybe on Thursday, we'll see. But I'll definitely see you at Shepherd Youth. So I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later.